Hell's Kitchen Season 22 Episode 6 Review. Now, if I had to give this episode a title, then it would be called I Told You So. And that's because some of the things that happened were completely expected. However, there were some things that completely subverted my expectations. And over the course of this review, I will give my opinion of the episode, and I'll give my predictions for the Black Jacket round. So without any further delay, let's jump right in. With Melissa being eliminated from the competition, we pick up things with a conversation between the red team's Ronisha and Sandra, two chefs who I consider to be the weakest on their respective team. They talk about how their team was never a cohesive unit and how they all need to come together. But they fail to acknowledge that they helped vote off one of their strongest chefs in Melissa, and they also fail to take accountability in why the red team is trash. But we move on to the episode's challenge, where the chefs meet on the soccer field and they have to kick a soccer ball at targets that represent different cuisines around the world. This challenge has two chefs from each team go head to head with their dishes that fuse two cuisines that they picked. The only real highlight for this part of the challenge was watching Jason take 7 tries to kick a soccer ball at any of the targets. It was funny to watch, but it just goes to show that Jason was solely on the show to push the drama and provide someone that we can laugh at. But once the cooking gets underway, it's clear that we have some very strong chefs and some very weak ones. The strong chefs from both of the teams are Danya, Atoya, Sammy, Jason, Demir, and Ryan. The weak chefs are Jason, Ronisha, and Sandra. Now, what's very interesting about the challenge was that the blue team edged the red team by 1 point to win. And one could argue that the red team could have won this challenge if they didn't nominate Melissa for elimination in the last episode. But that's neither here nor there. The blue team continues to dominate these challenges, while the red team continues to get in their own way. But then we have dinner service, and I was pleasantly surprised to see Demir stepping up, pushing the pace for the dinner service, and encouraging the team to work as one cohesive unit. This showing from Demir has made me reevaluate his chances of making it to the Black Jacket round, because he has all the leadership qualities that Gordon is looking for in a chef, but we still need to see how he fares as an individual cook. But on the blue team, there's still issues going on with Jason going off script and doing what he wants to do during dinner service. And we also have Devin, who continues to serve raw meats to Gordon. Jermaine also had his issue during dinner service, but he otherwise had a solid service. But then there's the red team, and Ronisha continued to prove why she has no business being on the show. I admire her passion and her plan to provide for her children, but in this episode, she served raw foods and she nearly burnt down the kitchen early on in the service. Both teams ultimately finished dinner service strong, and it's arguably the best dinner service for both teams that had this season. Now, before Gordon asked the teams to nominate someone for elimination, Brad self-eliminates due to health issues, and I was a little shocked by this. On one hand, the health of a participant in this kind of competition should definitely be the number one priority, and I understand that Brad had to do what's best for him. But on the other hand, Brad's health issues kind of came out of nowhere, and I kind of wish that I had a little bit more backstory regarding what was going on with him. Nevertheless, it was a pleasure watching Brad during the season of Hell's Kitchen, and I wish nothing but the best for him going forward. After Brad left, Gordon tells the teams that they need to nominate 2 chefs for each team for elimination. During this process, the red team was a little conflicted on who they should vote for, which didn't make much sense to me. It's clear that for the majority of this episode, Ronisha and Sandra were the weak links. So I don't know why they needed to debate this part unless they had some alliances going on. But Ronisha and Sandra ultimately get nominated for elimination, and on the blue side, Jason was everybody's nomination for obvious reasons. But when Devin was nominated for elimination, he went into self-preservation mode and nominated Jermaine because Jermaine had never led a station before. To me, this justification was weak sauce. And in a head-to-head cook-off, Jermaine beats Devin 9 times out of 10. But Jermaine has had his faults in the kitchen, and the rest of the chefs don't really like him. So it seems like the other chefs voted for Jermaine for the same reason that the red team voted for Melissa in the last episode. They are leading with emotions and not logic. However, when it was all said and done, Ronisha gets the boot, and that was to be expected. Ronisha just wasn't ready for Hell's Kitchen, and several more chefs from her team will follow her before the Black Jacket round. Now, speaking of the Black Jacket round, my predictions from the last review are largely the same. However, I can see Demir taking the lead spot if he continues to improve on his cooking. But I do foresee the blue team imploding due to the drama of having Jermaine, Jason, and Devin on the team. That combination is a ticking time bomb, and I can see at least one of them getting eliminated over the next 3 episodes. But this marks the end of my review. Feel free to leave all comments below in the comment section, and I'll be sure to reply to everybody.